Hey everybody, welcome back. Got something pretty special in the mail today. It's something I pre-ordered probably about 3 months ago, and Howler Mouse did a great video on this last night. And I don't want to be repetitive on what he did, but it's just something the fans of this character in this book, just one of those things I had to show. But I know there are a lot of Kamandi fans out there, and like Tim said last night, it's kind of funny, like people that had started reading Kamandi like in the 70s or whatever, they knew all about the character, and he was one of Jack Kirby's most enduring characters in comics. But, when my first exposure to Kirby, when I first bought this comic, this is actually the first Kamandi comic that I bought when I was a kid, number 18. And I think I had seen this cover in an advertisement some other DC books. And I really wasn't a Marvel reader, but I was aware of Jack Kirby, probably like in a real faint sense, because, I'd read all the old monster reprints and Where Monsters Dwell and Where Creatures Roam and a lot of the other horror reprint titles that Marvel had going on in the 70s, because I really loved that stuff. But I really wasn't into Marvel at that time, so this was probably my first exposure to Kirby, especially in DC. I got into all the other stuff, New Gods and the Demon and Mr. Miracle and all the Jimmy Olsen stuff. But I remember me and my cousin, we had ordered some comics from Robert Bell, and for you old time collectors, I know you're going to recognize that name. Is he had those ads in the comics, the send for catalog, or send a stamp or a quarter or whatever it was, and this is one of the books I ordered, and although I wasn't a great fan of Kirby's art, there's just something about this cover, and it's like, wow, I said, that just really kind of jumps out at you. So I ordered this book, and I read it, and I was really more into superheroes, so I kind of put it to the side for a while. But probably, and like I say, this is number 18. This is probably about halfway into Kirby's run, because he drew the first 40. But, I kind of put Kamandi to the side, but I always kept going back and reading this. Of course, this isn't my original, because I read it till the pages fell out of it. But, I just kept going back and reading this, and I said, I wonder if they still make that book. So I went out, and probably the next issue I bought, probably a year and a half later, was Kamandi 32, which had a reprint of number 1, and had like a little quick Jack Kirby bio, and had a map of Earth AD after disaster. I was like, really, that's really a cool book. So from then on, I know I wanted to collect all that title, and I kind of went backwards or sideways into collecting this series. Like I say, number 18 was the first one that I'd ever bought, and this was the second one that I ever bought with my own money. So I went backwards from there, and of course, there's a copy of number 1. It's an iconic cover, and a lot of people are going to say, that's like a Planet of the Apes ripoff or whatever. It's like Tim said in his video. Kirby had the concept. For the kind of like the talking animals and all that, I guess it was Amazing Adventures or Alarming Adventures or something, in a story called The Last Enemy. And he had actually developed the name Kamandi from a failed newspaper strip back in like the late 50s. I think it was called Kamandi of the Caves. And I'm sure a lot of Kirby fanatics already know this. There were some articles in Jack Kirby Collector which kind of told the whole story. And Carmine Infantino, he was an asshole who took credit for Kamandi, but it was pretty much Jack's idea. The only reason, was like I said, DC didn't have the bucks to get the rights to the Planet of the Apes thing, so this was the next best thing. And I think it's an awesome book, and he's my all-time favorite character. And so I could just go on and on and on, but I'm not going to try not to. But anyway, there's number 1. And another iconic Kamandi cover, the Legend and the Mighty One with the Superman, or sort of a Superman crossover, number 29. And so I fell in love with this book. Fell in love, even after Kirby left. I still bought the book, just because I love the character so much. And I think there's probably a lot of us that probably kind of associate ourselves with that character, because he didn't have superpowers. He was just trying to survive on his own in a world where everything was kind of upside down. But like I say, I got this in the mail today, and this is the Jack Kirby Kamandi Artist Edition. I haven't opened it up yet. I hardly ever do an unboxing, but I thought I'd share that with you guys. So I'm gonna have to kind of unprop my camera here, my iPad, and we'll see what we can see. Okay. Like I say, this was published by IDW, and they put out all these artist editions. I think I recently showed a Joe Kubert Tarzan edition, and it was an awesome book. So I'm going to cut this open. I think we got some more on the side. And some more here. So you guys are going to see this for the first time just like me. And wow, that is absolutely beautiful. And for anybody that doesn't know, or anybody that, like I said, I'm not trying to, do the same video Tim did, because if there are any, there might be a few of you, or if any, that don't follow Tim's channel, then maybe you'll get a look at it here. But like I say, just an awesome cover. And still in the shrink wrap. And I don't know if there's anybody that would want to leave something like this in the shrink wrap and not look at it. It looks pretty shiny like that. But do I leave stuff in the shrink wrap? Hell no, I don't. I like to take my toys out and play with them. So I'm going to take the shrink wrap off here. And we are going to look at this book. There we go. Now, that is just some beautiful stuff. I'm probably like Tim. I'm going to get caught up in looking at the pages and not really saying anything, which, some of you might not want me to anyway. Just shut up, Shannon, and turn the pages. But just some great, great illustrations. I think that's probably a panel from issue number 1. Okay. And we have, I think they've got complete issues of 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 9, and I think there's some just some random pages from some other books that they probably couldn't get the complete story for. But there you see it, reproduced exactly from the original Bristol board or art boards that they used. You can see where they did the paste ups for the logo, and you can see where Jack taped it to his board. Just shows all the little stuff that you don't normally see in a comic. You see some white out here, where he did some inking and then did some corrections. And it looks like a lot of it is paste up. But there's the iconic first page. I'm not going to go through every page because I don't want this to run way too long, but this is like, to me, one of the greatest double-page spreads in comics. And I'm a big Planet of the Apes fan, so this just automatically grabbed me. And I mean, there's just so much to look at. And of course, you got the Kirby swirls in the water. And you have the decayed Statue of Liberty. There's just so much great stuff. And here's what I think is kind of funny. I don't know if Kirby did this or somebody else wrote this in the top. Look at the way they spell Kamandi. Kamandi. This is just great. I saw that box. Actually, I guess my wife had got it outside the door, and I saw it sitting here. And I thought, oh, it's my birthday and Christmas again. But this is just beautiful stuff. Like I say, you can see every little detail, of penciling and inking, and We got some blue line stuff right over here. This is just a beautiful, beautiful book. I can go on and on, but I'm just going to kind of try to turn pages without talking too much. Kirby had to be the master of splash pages and double page spreads. Okay, I'm going to try to flip through this and maybe see another cover. There we go. There's cover to number 2. You can see where they put all the white out again. They got some blue line pencil on there. All the paste ups. And all its full original glory here. Year of the Rat. And you have the indicia down here. I always thought this was pretty cool. But another, it's kind of hard to get the whole thing in there, but another great double page spread. I'm sure I'll be like Tim, and I'm going to be laying on the couch or wherever, like going over every detail of this. But as far as collectibles in my collection, this is probably going to be in the top 10, if not the top 5. Like I say, you know, all this is reprinted at the original size of the original art. Just beautiful, beautiful, beautiful stuff. I think for the most part, the inking, I think you got a synopsis and the cover for number 3, since they weren't included in this book. Number 4, and more synopsis. And this is a great cover. Of course, I'm going to say they're all great covers, but you know. These are really cool. So you really, you know, and a lot of us have been collecting comics long enough. We know how the process of creating a comic is done, or used to be done anyway. And so this just kind of gives you an idea of how everything gets started. Another great 2-page spread. I'm just kind of wondering, yeah, I guess he had to tape 2 of these together. Right there, you can kind of see. But just beautiful pages. I think the thing that kind of jumped out to me about Kamandi, because it was sort of like just watching a movie. I mean, everything was just kind of right in your face, and it just kind of jumped right off at the page at you. And a lot of people kind of criticize Kirby's writing, but I think for this series, I think Jack was so enthusiastic about his characters, and a lot of his characters were him, you know. And I think Kamandi was him in a sense, sort of like the Thing and Sergeant Fury and all those types of characters, all the little boy commandos and all that sort of stuff were in some way, shape, or form Jack Kirby. Another great page. I'm going to kind of skip through it. I don't want to take up too much time. I did want to show all the covers. Another great cover. You can see some corrections on the whiteout. Down here, captains and the linemen. And you always have the obligatory 2-page spread after the splash most of the time. Just beautiful stuff. Another great page. I'm kind of wanting to get to the back and see some sketches here. There's number 9, the cover. This will probably be the centerpiece of my Kamandi shrine when I get around to making it. But there, Jack used some photo collage, as he did a lot in the 70s. I think in the late 60s he probably started doing that over at Marvel. Here's a page from number 3. As far as inkers, probably Mike Royer and D. Bruce Berry were probably my favorite inkers on Kamandi, which they probably did the bulk of it anyway, that Kirby drew. Another great 2-page spread. And another great 2-page spread. Wow, there's just so much going on in here. And like I say, some of these sketches are probably from Jack Kirby Collector, or sketches that other people had inked and colored. I think that's a convention sketch. Another great sketch there. And you have a short biography in the back of Jack Kirby. So, well, there you go, guys. Christmas in June. Thanks for sticking around, everybody. And as always, onward and upward.